Hello everyone, my name is Barbara, I'm the Polish girl who lives in Ireland and likes to knit, and today I have a finished object video for you. Something fun, something easy, something quite quick. Okay, let's start. First of all, this is not a tutorial, it is a finished object video, so I'm just sharing with you what kind of project I finished. But if you want to knit these socks, I have a video tutorial, so step by step how I knit socks. That's basically my go-to thing that I do while I'm knitting socks, although you know, you can do loads of stuff, so that's not the only way doing things. For me, it's the easiest and really mindless way of doing socks. First things first, you know probably now because I knitted some kind of similar socks and I'm just basically putting more yarn into the same bag, and this is the one. This is Handmade Bags by Diane and with the same keychain on which says socks, just so I know. I knitted them on Powerhouse. This is my Pow knitting out, so check my shop if you would want to browse through, maybe you find something you like. And over here you also can sneak in a 9-inch needles over here. So I have two sets. These socks were knitted one at a time, let's say that way. First I knitted toe, tube, cuff, knitted another one, and then I was placing heels, like I'm doing now, just a sneak peek what it's in the future. Although, just to let you know, even though I'm using US size 1 2.25mm needles to knit socks, you may need a different one. Normally people knit 2.25, which is US size 1, or US size 1.5, which is 2.5mm. I think between those two is a safe bet that you will find something you like, because basically at the end of the day it's what kind of tension, so what kind of fabric you're getting. Is those stitches are loose or they're too tight for you? Would you like to have them more soft or like a solid, really hard wearing fabric to create? That's why we're talking about a needle size over here. And in regard to socks, obviously the most important thing is your circumference, because the length you can adjust that, depends how long is the foot, but not every time you can cast on the same number of stitches because people have wider feet and the length you can kind of go through it. But once you cast on and you set up a certain number of stitches in this section and in this section, that's basically done. You can't do much about it. But halfway through, if you realize that something is too short, then you can keep on knitting. So for examples in regard sizes, not every size fits everyone. Hope I said that right. So anyway, as I said, I was knitting toe up and I used afterthought heel at the end, and you can notice there I have two different yarns over here. I'm kind of in the zone of knitting socks from the leftovers, and like I said in the previous video, so this one, that's kind of how it started. I received some leftovers from my friend and she said, you know, just keep it, do whatever you want with it, and I'm going with it. So the idea of this for these socks is that I'm knitting until I'm run out of yarn, so it could end up that one sock is longer than another one, and you know, I'm knitting another pair and you may see that in the future, they're slightly bigger, but I think that's kind of gives a little bit of a, what's the word, quirk? Is that a word? Am I not offending anyone? You know, kind of gives a spice to it, I think. It gives more handmade feeling, because who on earth in the shop would sell one sock longer than another? But I'm not talking about the foot, I'm talking about the cuff length over here. And as you could see, that these are leftovers gave kind of shorties, a little bit like a slightly bigger length. I really like that one. I'm not sure, I don't remember how many of those things I have, but what I can tell you in regards to the sizes, if for instance you want to knit socks for myself, feel free to do so. You will cast on 12 stitches, you go into increase to the 56 stitches, so 28 stitches per one needle if you do magic hoop, and you're knitting until you get 60 rounds. And either whatever preferred heel method you would want to use. You can, normally what I do, I mark the area that I want to place the heel and I continue knitting the tube. And then over here I found maybe 40s. That's a really nice number. I'm not saying because, you know, I just knit until I run out of yarn, and then I do 2x2 cuff with a bind off, and the bind off I use the stretchy bind off, or some said, I think I googled, it's like Russian bind off, so it's probably the same, or I'm completely wrong. Let me hear, check, let me know. Have you heard Russian bind off? Is it the same as a stretching bind off? Let me know down below. And then I do afterthought heel, and before I do that I do 3 rounds or 4 rounds, depends how thick the fingering yarn is, or suck yarn is sometimes you call that. So what I'm talking about, if you check the skein or ball, you have information about the meterage. So in 100 grams you have certain yardage, so normally you can find from 365 to 425 meters, so either way, one or another or something between, and that way you would know that it's 425 is thinner than 365 is thicker, and that way I kind of feel that, oh, I do 3 or I do 4 now. So basically that's, and then I do this. If you want to have a snips of separate videos about the toes, about the heels, I definitely have that in the playlist called tutorials and how I do things, because sometimes my way is not the way, but sometimes I just like my way. Okay, yarns that I used. So like I said, they're leftovers. Sometimes people don't even know what they have, but this one we figure out is a KnitPicks. We do not know the color name, so that's why I call it KnitPicks Felici, unknown. And then for the contrast heels, toes, I used this little thingy, and it's 114 color by Drops Fable. I have some Drops Fable yarn, I think, the whole one of those boxes, so I'm going to use it, and I love it so much. And I don't bother to match the socks. Sometimes they end up matching because someone was actually went through the whole process of matching their socks when they were knitting, so the leftovers were at the matching point. Brilliant. And as you could see, probably these weren't. How beautiful they are! Although I had a little small bow that looks the same thing, and I think, as I said, I think that's from the same, yeah, from the same bow. You see, that's how they would match. But I used them in a different one just to maybe sneak peek. Ta-da! You could see them here, and there is a different one. Anyway, you know, I'm going into the roll thing. So now, it's so much fun to knit with someone else's leftovers. So if you have a knitting group or anything like that, maybe you say, you know, you heard something like that, maybe we could try to do something. Because once you knit with a, I don't know, 70 or even 80 grams of yarn, you may not be really interested to do something with that 20 gram left. So yeah, go for it, swap with someone. So much fun. I think I have even tried on Knitting I Love group on RAVELRY, so check that out. And that was as simple as that. I'm very fan now knitting on 9-inch circulars. If I don't have any pattern, I'm just knitting in the round, quite relaxing. When I hit the ribbing, sometimes it's not, because they're very fiddly, you know, by changing the yarn. But other than that, I love it. I think you're liking these, and hopefully soon I will show you my lovely hat that I'm going to finish, because the only thing that it needs is the pom-pom and a tag. I hope you enjoyed this one. See you next one. Don't forget to check all the links down below. So I hope you're going to enjoy this channel, and I hope to see you in the future. Yeah, tag me if you can, if you have anything on your needles, and use #KnittingILove. And that's that. Bye!